Future and past, lies and deceit, everybody. It's Deep Dive Zone, a Sonic review series for fans of all shapes and sizes. I'm your host, Devin, joined as always by my co-hosts, Lauren and Bruce, and today we're moving forward again with Archie Sonic the Hedgehog in the not Ken Penders era.
The
Last
Flynn
week...
era, you might say.
Yeah, you might call it the Flynn era.
Well, there's people other than Flynn that write for this, technically. Like,
Really?
Yeah, but
haven't seen it yet.
To be fair, Flynn is the head writer.
Oh yeah, no, it's
Right.
if anybody is defining the feel of this era, it's him. But
Yeah.
anyway, last week we got to a positive but mixed start, and that is probably going to continue through this week.
Kind of.
Not least because we are starting with a return to Mobius 25 years later.
Oh boy.
I guess they figured that while so much of Ian's early work was dedicated to cleaning up Ken and Carl's mess,
Might as well
and
keep
Justin
it up.
Debris, let's be honest, if he'd been better at his job, this never would have gotten so bad. They'd
True.
go ahead and let him close off this plotline too.
Clean this up a bit also, yeah.
Which is funny because then they did 2 more arcs involving the future timelines anyway, but...
Oh, huh. I wouldn't have guessed. I would have thought this is it. But okay.
Yeah, same, yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, so Sonic 166 here has another Sanford Green cover on our hands, which means those faces are a little odd.
A little lumpy.
They mostly look fine to me.
The hedgehogs are a little lumpy. Everything else looks mostly fine.
It's not nearly as bad as some of his covers, so... And hey, Shadow's here. He didn't even exist in the original stories.
It's true.
Yeah, it's true.
And, well, he plays a bit of a big role here. The story for this comic is Tempus Fugit? Flynn and Yardley. The future of Mobius has been altered. Shadow is a tyrannical king and Angel Island is a police state. What's going on? It's up to Tails to gather survivors from the old timeline and take the fight to the top.
You know, I'll admit, it wasn't a complete waste of time covering the Lara Sue Chronicles because it recapped me up for this a little bit.
It did kind of. I didn't even think about that until you saying that now. It kind of did.
It also lets you see just how different the styles can be and how you can make something feel totally different. So, yeah, the last part of the original 25 years later was that Sonic tried to use Eggman's time machine to save the planet from exploding, but then he got squiggleized and it randomly ended. But now we see the result, which is... Well, I think it's a striking image just to start with, because you have this Big Brother-style poster with the Knuckles face saying the Chaotix are watching, and you have all these dudes out on the street prostrating themselves in front of a big angel statue of Maria Robotnik.
It's
it's an image.
Yeah.
So things have definitely changed. And case in point, Adult Tails is here. He completely sat out the original story.
I thought I remembered that.
So yeah, lots to talk about already.
Yeah, no kidding.
Case in point, Knuckles is training Lara Sue to use Chaos powers. So she's actually doing stuff in this story.
Well, I also like that he's not taking a note out of his own father's book and actually being there for her.
Exactly. Actually, it seems like he's got a whole dojo of people that he's training. So.
Yeah, he seems to be training a lot of people, but specifically he's actually helping his own child.
Yeah. So Tails shows up to explain that everything was changed in the time flux or whatever, and Shadow is king now, but some people can still remember stuff.
Yeah, I'll mention that when Tails shows up, Knuckles is like, "Go away, Laura. You can't hear any of this."
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So presumably, maybe they don't know. I don't know. Well, we get that.
Seems like she mostly doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't really remember. They didn't really explain how the weird timeline stuff happens, but basically, conveniently, the heroes know, and maybe some of the villains too, but most people don't.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, in Tails' case, it sounds like he used this special armband to keep himself and his family safe from the change. And he's like, Knuckles, I need you and Sonic to help fix everything. But Knuckles is like, no, not gonna. I like being the chief of a despot.
They don't really give a reason. They're just like, get out of here.
Basically,
we'll see later that it's kind of a fluke. No, not a fluke. What's the word? Farce.
Yeah. At the time, I was like, I kind of believed it, actually.
I did kind of also.
I think, it's like with the original story, we had Knuckles definitely following in his father's footsteps. And for us, that was for the worse, but for the story, they seemed to think that was a good thing. Here, you could flip that on its head, where you could make it interesting by showing how he's grown to be someone who kind of sucks because he is like his dad.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess they only had 2 issues for this, so...
Sure.
Now that being said, Laura Sue catches Tails on the way out. She was eavesdropping before, and she wants to help him. And so she does have sort of vague feelings of people before, but doesn't know fully of anything. She has memories of Sonic and Sally's kids who don't exist anymore.
Yeah, we'll get to that a little more later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but she says, we gotta set out to find the real king of Mobius. Anyway, here's the fake one torturing Rotor.
This was like... tonal, not really. I mean not tonal whiplash, just like regular whiplash.
It's just a shocking thing to see.
Yeah, it's really sudden.
Shadow the Hedgehog, darkest timeline.
Basically, it really is lucky that they had a whole Sonic game where Shadow has a bunch of what-if endings, because King Shadow being completely evil for reasons that are really not clear at all.
He's just an ass.
Yeah.
We don't get into it, but yeah, because of that, I'm like, okay, I guess this is kind of like what I've seen before.
Yeah, it's like I've seen what if Shadow was like this, so sure, why not?
Yeah, well, and future Mobius is a what if timeline, so I suppose.
True.
We're gonna put it somewhere.
Yeah, fair enough.
He also has Lee and Da helping him, and she has a device that syncs her across timelines like Tails.
Interesting.
They say that Kobar made this one, but A, he's not in these comics, and B, they keep calling him Kobor.
I thought it was spelling wrong.
Yeah.
Huh.
He's implied to be dead, and that's where, Ken threw a shit fit because he's like, Ian killed him for being Rotor's boyfriend, even though I literally never told anyone that it was supposed to be that before it was convenient to me.
No one but me knew he was gay, but Ian still killed him because he was gay.
Yeah, so even if you believed that was the case, and I was at this point, I'm like fully convinced because you keep talking about it. I just actually saw it like as drama. Like, are you kidding me? Like, I killed your boyfriend.
Ian killed him off. He was like, okay, for one thing, we need to show this, and for another thing, it's a completely redundant character.
Right.
We have so many science guys already.
Yeah, we don't need another one.
Yeah, but they do have spies out looking for Tails and Laura Sue, who are just now running into Sonic the Old Hobo.
I don't really get how this works. Like,
yeah,
they live out being like on the streets, or did they just suddenly get plopped here? Like,
that's what I'm wondering. Like, how did this timeline change happen?
My theory would be that since Sonic went in the Warble device, he got sent here while everything else changed kind of arbitrarily. So everybody else has kind of lived through this, but he mostly just sort of fell there and couldn't do anything.
Wouldn't that make 2 Sonics exist then in this timeline?
I don't know. Yeah,
that's what makes me like if history happened the same way up to a point, Sonic would still be a hero. So how would he be living like this?
Yeah, I don't get this. This is bizarre. Like, even if they were suddenly plopped here, that doesn't make sense either. Because
if it's suddenly plopped here, I would almost be willing to take that.
Well, but why would they just be sitting here in an alley? That's just weird.
Fair.
Well, what would everybody else have thought of Sonic? There's no reference for what the public opinion of Sonic is in this timeline.
Right.
Honestly, I think they just wanted an excuse to show Sonic at his absolute lowest.
Yeah, probably.
Look at the nasty ass chili dog and the wheel rim as a dinner plate.
The moldy looking chili dog is interesting.
Yeah, it's fun, but unfortunately, there are a lot of things they don't go into as much as I wish they had.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes these comics like to actually go into things, but a lot of the times they just leave it up to your interpretation.
Again, 2 issues and it's Mobius 25 years later.
Right.
So Sonic, it's a sorry sight, and it's made worse by the revelation that he remembers everything, including his family that no longer exists.
Right.
and this is the part that gets posted online all the time. These two panels of Tails hugging Sonic and then him and Mina helping him up. Originally, Yardley drew Sonic breaking down sobbing because his children don't exist anymore.
Right.
But Sega said, no, change it so that he's not crying so much. And...
A lot of people get, I think, understandably frustrated about that change, but I also understand it from Sega's point of view.
So from a characterization point of view, it's very clear that, from Sega's point of view, Sonic is not the guy who breaks down sobbing either way.
Right.
And I get that. Now, that being said, erasure of his children is certainly an acceptable reason to ugly cry.
Definitely. As I said, I understand the frustration behind it, but I also, Sonic is very much a character that stays strong even for the people around him.
It's, I think it's just that it doesn't actually diminish the scene for me, especially since I've seen the original one look a little hokey.
It really doesn't diminish the scene all that much because you can still see he's crying. He is broken up about it still.
Yeah.
And it certainly pisses me off because people use these panels of Sonic with tears in his eyes to say that because they got changed, that's proof that Sonic isn't allowed to cry, which is not what the rule is.
No.
And also, they claim that this is, evidence of the IDW mandates when this isn't IDW and was decades beforehand. Anyway, so, Sonic also wants to patch things up between him and Tails. Whatever went down there anyway.
That is something I do remember them mentioning, that there was some issue between Sonic and Tails.
Yeah.
Obviously they're still not telling us what that issue was.
I can only imagine.
At some point, I don't think it matters.
In the original 25 years later, Sonic is kind of a stunted weirdo, so maybe he was just a dickhead because Tails managed to grow up.
Maybe.
But yeah, so we've got people together, we're gonna join up for another fight for old times. But hey, we're missing one part of the trio. Oh, there he is.
Uh-oh. That one part of the trio just arrested them.
Yeah. Also note the Black Arms insignia on all the vehicles.
Yep, I noticed that.
I didn't notice that. That's neat.
Which is so funny because, anyway, yeah, so, again, this is another case where maybe if they'd had 2 full issues instead of 2 half-issue stories to flesh things out, our problems would be less there, but,
yeah, it's the half-issue shit is still really annoying.
Well, anyway, we do have another story in this issue, which is called The Chaotix Connection, which is our final story from Romy Chacon, but had all its dialogue rewritten by Flynn.
Interesting.
I noticed that in the credits. I'm like, that's interesting.
All of the lettering is digital in this story as well.
Huh.
And it's also, I think, our last story to be drawn by Jay Axer.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, Casinoopolis opens in Station Square with none other than Renfield T. Rodent managing it. Could this be a secret plot?
I mean, yeah.
Literally everything else he's ever done certainly is.
Man, I forgot about Renfield.
Same.
Archie's Max Gamble is at it again.
Yeah, this is them clearing an inventory story.
Yeah. It's being like, okay, we need to just get this out.
Especially since Rouge is still in her hero's outfit. In this story
yeah.
That is published in, 2006, 2007, maybe? But yes, we open on Knuckles in captivity from someone who wants revenge, whoever that could be. And then we cut away to, Casinoopolis opening. We get a shot of Station Square's town hall area in this panel up here, just like the video game.
That's right, yeah.
And Casinoopolis is opening, Renfield is running it, Rouge contacts Knothole with the news that he was set free from jail when Eggman took Angel Island, which I bet was not a line in the original because I bet they didn't remember where he was.
Probably.
Yeah.
And
I do like the president's gormless face. I'm pretty sure he doesn't say a single word.
Yeah. Anyway, the Chaotix are on the case, and by Chaotix I mean Ray and Charmy aren't here for some reason, but
we don't need them.
It's alright, we got Rouge, which is probably an upgrade to both those. I guess Ray's not bad, but he hasn't had much.
Yeah.
There is a slot machine delivery to the casino, which is relevant enough to take 2 pages for unclear reasons.
Gotta remind you that the Dingo plotline lives.
That's right.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Talking about how when
says
Von Stryker was in charge, things were better.
That's definitely a retcon line. This guy was just a dingo, and he was like, I could write a line for this.
I appreciate it.
Ah, wonderful. So yeah, Renfield is clearly shady. And I was talking about how Rouge and Julie Sue have no reason to be at odds with each other last time. They do aggress each other here, which means that it was not completely made up by Ian.
Sure.
I guess that's true, yeah.
Yeah.
That doesn't make it better, but
no.
Yeah. Everyone enters the casino, they skulk around a while, and Knuckles dives into the back room. I don't have anything special to say about this. It's crazy how much something you can tell was scripted by someone else first.
Oh, yeah, no, this definitely has a certain vibe to it.
Yeah, an old school vibe, which is to say, not great.
Yeah. Yeah,
well, it's like the Knuckles comics, basically.
Kind of, yeah.
Again.
We're just meandering. It really feels like we're just meandering right now, which those comics kind of felt like a lot.
Yeah. He hears the foreman mention Eggman and instantly beats up everyone in the room, regardless of how connected they are to this.
Well, obviously they're all connected because they're there.
That's right.
Knuckles beats up first and doesn't think.
Yeah. Now it's the video games. No.
Oof.
I don't know. Here's another case where I don't know if this was written with that stuff in mind or drawn with this stuff in mind. Mighty orders a chili dog and says he's checking it for drugs like last time.
Can't believe they're calling that back.
God.
And again, their method of checking for drugs is to just eat it.
Yeah, let's see if I just pass out.
Great technique.
Jesus.
Professional detectives.
Yeah. But the horse foreman guy is actually mechanical when Knuckles punches him, meaning he's an auto-automaton, or an infiltrator, if you will. Actually, he calls them auto-automations. I think that's a typo.
It's gotta be.
Probably.
I do like Knuckles questioning the sound effect when he punches the foreman in the face.
Yeah.
It's like, hold on, you're not making the right noise.
Yeah. That should be the sound of bones crunching. No,
God.
Anyway, the dude, rocket punches Knuckles, and he knocks him out. They test the slot machines, and this is why there was a 2-page delivery for the slot machines, because they hypnotize you.
So I mean, pretty standard for a casino.
Yeah.
For real.
So now Rouge, Vector, and SBO are all hypnotized, which means that saving the day is not really going to come down to them.
I mean, no, but them being hypnotized basically ends up meaning nothing.
Well, it means somebody else has to save the day.
Yeah, which I already expect that at some point in these comics for someone to fuck up.
Yep, so Rennie's plan under Eggman's order is to scan people, erase their memory, and use the scan to make infiltrator robots, because this place is a factory for them.
Fucking fair enough, I guess.
It's a standard
plan.
It's nothing too crazy.
Yeah.
And really, it's like, gosh, how will we ever get out of this? Well, 2 of us weren't hypnotized, so they do it.
Yeah.
It's that easy.
It's
basically.
It really is that easy. It all happens in 1 page. They destroy the machine. Julie tases him. And yeah, point a gun at Rennie. Mighty balls up the factory onto a big ball.
My brain did not comprehend that was the entire factory.
It is funny how they're consistent with okay, wait. So Knuckles is a strong guy. How do we show that Mighty is the really strong guy? They always go over the top. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Renfield is taken by police, and by Renfield.
Yeah.
For now.
I'm assuming we'll see him again. Oh shit, the president does say something.
I actually don't remember. I didn't. It's like, I was saying last week, the number of first times gets surpassed by the number of never agains. I don't even know if this is never again, because I don't care enough about Renfield to remember.
I mean, that's fair, yeah.
Good. I don't want to know.
Yeah, I don't want to know either.
Or just not see him. Either is fine.
I I want to be pleasantly surprised that Ian remembered he exists at some point.
Anyway, President Nothing thanks the heroes for their work. Rouge and Julie snap at each other again, and the day is saved.
Yay.
And, yeah, you can really tell that it wasn't written by Ian at first.
Yeah.
So, Sonic number 167. Why is Tails the only one with the mouth on this cover, and why does it make him look so old?
Sally's got one.
Oh, you're right. My entire thesis has been destroyed.
No, Tails does look like he's, like, extra old here.
Yeah. Anyway, Mobius 25 years later, part 2, Tempus Aeternus?
Aeternus. Yeah.
Is Flynn and Yardley again. The stage is set for battle as Sonic, Tails, and Lara Sue are captured and imprisoned, but in doing so, they gain a direct line of attack toward the evil King Shadow.
My first note is Dimitri is still a floating head.
I like that Liam Dawes still keeping Dimitri like he's a fucking dog.
Floating head Dimitri is the best Dimitri, I'm sorry.
There's no need to apologize. It's the truth.
No, it is the truth. It's just,
it's the
funny.
most unique look for him. You know, because
Fair.
Chunky Cyborg Dimitri, there was so much to draw every single time.
Yeah. At least now he's just an orb.
Yeah. Anyway, yes, Wine Mom Lianda is sitting back enjoying her victory. I had wondered in the previous issue why it mattered whether she had the protection thing from Tails. But I think this scene makes it make sense, is to show she's the same one from the original timeline.
Right, she actually,
the stupid random piece between her and Julie Sue is now recontextualized as I was biding my time all this time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's interesting because you can see with Dimitri and with Rutan sitting on the stairs up there, they're clearly not cool with this.
Right.
For all of the
yeah. I mean, well, I was gonna say, yeah, Dimitri immediately calls out calls her out.
For all of the horrible things he's done, he has principles that she doesn't.
Right. Exactly.
And we're gonna see so much of these with his comics. I'm gonna spoil this for you. Under Ian Flynn, Dimitri is such a good character.
All right.
Nice.
Cool. That's good to hear, yeah.
Anyway, that doesn't really play into this story very much.
Sure.
Sonic, Tails, and Lara Sue are locked up in the prison with Rotor. They broke off one of his tusks. I don't know if I saw that before.
I did notice it in the last issue. That's pretty baller.
My design is metal now. Rotor has given into despair. He's very upset. But the others are so casual that it confuses him.
Yeah, he gets like frustrated with them that like, how are you guys making jokes? We're all about to die. Which, I mean, fair enough. I get the impression he's been in captivity for a while.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Shadow has not been kind to him.
Oh yeah.
But the reason that they are not that big a deal is because it's fine. Knuckles is fine. He shows up and it's like, oh yeah,
Knuckles
fine.
is on their side.
Yeah, and they knew it. They totally knew that Knuckles was gonna turn like this.
Yeah. I love the dialogue where Knuckles is like, my own daughter, like he's about to scold her. But midway through her yelling at him, he says, I couldn't be prouder.
Yeah.
And their reasoning for this is good too, where Sonic's like, yeah, Knuckles would lock me up, but not Tails and Lara.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, honestly, yeah, probably.
I mean, Sonic would be an outlaw even in a peaceful future.
Yeah, I do like how proud Sonic Tails look when Knuckles calls them lunatics.
Yeah.
I also didn't notice that Tails are also shackled.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good. So yeah, Knuckles lets them out, and everybody's gonna slide into their hero roles.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I love the little drawing here of Lara Sue being cute and jumping up and down because she's like, oh, Knuckles, you played for this. So yes, Tails has taken down the defenses, Sonic is going to lead the charge, Knuckles is going to back him up, and Lara Sue just has to get Rotor to safety, which is kind of like the Cell Saga Gohan role, where it's like, yeah, you're strong, but you're also a kid, so leave this to the adults.
Well, and I do like how Knuckles contextualizes it to her, though, saying, like, you're the Guardian, so part of being the Guardian is protecting everyone and helping everyone.
Yeah, it's a good moment where it doesn't feel like it's undercutting everything, but is also the rational thing for an adult to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, good character writing. That's the theme of, I guess, just this entire era. But anyway, Nux break into the throne room, and Shadow and a completely despondent Sally is there to meet them. And Shadow's like, Yeah, I'm from the altered timeline, but I have chaos control powers, and that makes me know stuff that happened.
You know, I'll give him that. He has some level of control over space time.
I guess it does. It's just strange to me because does that matter?
I mean, it's an excuse. It's their excuse, or it's Ian's excuse for a Shadow to understand what happened.
I guess it means that he can see this coming.
Yeah,
they have double reasons because Leondal also told them. So like they might have felt something was strange, but not known exactly what until Leondal clarified.
That would also make sense.
Yeah. I guess Shadow was just kind of headed down a dark path either way, maybe.
Damn.
It's a good thing this isn't the canon feature of the main series. It would suck if, like, they had to build to the Shadow we know becoming this.
Yeah.
So yeah, Sonic and Shadow fight, but Sonic cannot get a single hit in because he is too much of a man in his 40s, whereas Shadow doesn't age.
I hadn't even thought about that fact. So, like, Shadow is basically eternally, like, 15, 16.
Yeah, you brushed over the beginning of this fight, which is really great because Sonic is just ready to rumble, and they just like punch Shadow.
Gets a single punch in on Shadow, or at least it looks like he does.
I think that's Shadow dodging, but maybe not.
That's the impression I got, but I could see it being the only punch because based on his look after the punch.
Yeah. Okay. So it could either be him dodging nonchalantly and then looking back, or it could be him taking the punch nonchalantly and then being like, is that all you got?
Yeah, I think it could be either way. I do think it's more interesting if Sonic was able to get a single sucker punch in.
Either way, it's great because then I'm like, oh wait, there's a reason that they gave Shadow a cape. It's so they can cast it aside here at the beginning. Yeah. I love that. That is great.
It's great. And he just kicks Sonic's ass because Sonic has 25 years on him now.
Yeah. Yep. Well, and, it's a well-rendered ass beating,
Yeah.
Yardley's art is so much better than so many of the artists before.
Oh, God, it's so much better.
Yeah, Sonic cannot take him, so instead, Lara Sue bursts in. We'll counter the eternal 15-year-old with another one.
I do like this. I do like that as well. The one who's actually within Shadow's age range and can use chaos powers.
And also, it's Lara Sue getting to do shit.
That's also true.
She does more in this comic than the series that's named after her.
Okay, to be fair, the series that's named after her, we've barely seen any of.
Yeah, well, Ken wanted her to be the protagonist of the original 25 years later, too. She didn't do shit in that either.
Anyway, okay, that's fair.
Anyway, yeah, after all that stuff, Lara Sue gets to be the big damn heroes moment.
Which is great. I love it.
It makes sense, she's been trained by Knuckles. She's the daughter of what Ian Flynn termed the hot pocket of destiny when referring to Knuckles.
Okay, interesting.
Because there was so many different things working in his favor,
Right.
And big chaos energy battle.
Yeah. Oh, it's
and by
cool
big,
to see.
I mean, actually, it's very short.
It's short. Yeah. Well, doesn't surprise me it would be short. Because we have to work with there still being 2 stories per issue.
Yeah, but it's all right. They throw some chaos spears back and forth. Yeah.
It's still cool.
Yeah. Lara does take one to the shoulder, but then she just freezes Shadow in time with chaos control.
Yeah.
And well, that's our resolution. You do that, and now everything's fine.
Yep, you beat the king, then everyone else surrenders. That's how it works.
I mean,
I guess the idea is like Shadow was basically holding the planet hostage with his own power.
The chaotics were his enforcers, and Knuckles is already on their side, so...
Right, Knuckles was...
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, with Knuckles being on... Yeah.
It was not an altered future we were meant to see for very long anyway, I guess.
Yeah, this was another case of let's clean up a plot that was either not complete or was messy.
Yeah, but I would say if I'm disappointed in anything, it's that I wanted to see more of why King Shadow is like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a fine resolution to an extent, but it's definitely a little...
You can tell sudden. It's a compromise, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like honestly, I agree. I wanted to see more of this, which is strange to say.
Yeah, but you know, they only gave him 2 stories to wrap it up, so it makes sense that it would be truncated.
Yeah.
And, you know, they did good character stuff for everybody else, you know, so.
Yeah, I mean,
no,
this was fine. They just
pretty all right.
I think they just used Shadow because what other character options they have to make like a quick like villain.
Well, and that was an idea that was come up with before Ian even was on the series. They wanted Ken to write that story.
Interesting. Huh.
Now they used to say that was
yeah.
what Ken quit the series over.
Really?
But according to him, it was Sega asking him to do a Shadow the Hedgehog adaptation without any material from Shadow the game, which I can honestly also believe.
And that's almost more believable.
Yeah. Anyway, the ending here is that Sonic and Sally sit down in the room, and Sonic is immediately ready to fuck. It's one of the first things he says to her is, "Hey, have you ever thought about kids?"
Jesus Christ! I guess you know he had kids. He misses them, so let's bring them back.
It's a good thing that Sally, at one point in the throne room, says, "You know about the other timeline," when talking to Shadow, which means that she knows, because if she didn't, this would be a complete non sequitur. It's like, Sonic, what's wrong with
you? Sonic, dude, come on.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's that story. And, well, you know, we're still in a transitional period, because we have one more story of this issue. This is Hedgehog Day, written by Romy Chacon, and not rewritten by Flynn, and with art by Dave Monick. Good old Dave Monick.
Man.
In a plot that would later be rehashed by the Sonic Boom cartoon, Sonic finds himself stuck in a mysterious Groundhog Day time loop, repeating the same events over and over and clumsily screwing things up.
It's one of those stock stories that people love to parody.
Yeah. The design of Sonic's bedroom changes every single time it's drawn.
The only consistency is the race car bed.
His race car bed is. Here's the Mach 5 from Speed Racer.
Yeah.
Or I guess it's the Hack 5. That's an H, not an M.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm not gonna waste too much time with this. Sonic is late for a party for himself because it's his birthday.
So does that make him 18? 17?
I don't know. I don't even know if this story is canon.
Assuming it's canon.
Why wouldn't the story be canon?
Yeah, I don't think it doesn't seem to have any reason why it wouldn't be canon, to me at least.
I guess not explaining why you have a Groundhog Day time loop isn't the same as not being canon.
Yeah, I mean, assumingly, once the time loop is broken, this day just happens the way it was supposed to.
Okay, yeah.
Complete non sequitur in Sonic's life, I guess.
Yeah, Sonic's I guess never gonna get that explanation.
Okay, I didn't realize you were saying that part didn't happen, because I assumed the celebration happens.
Yeah, that's my assumption. Yeah,
is somewhat debatable. It could be an unexplained thing. This is the sort of thing I would explain them. I would expect them to explain 100 issues later, and it becomes an important plot point.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I'm just realizing we just had Sonic's birthday in number 160. I'm hoping this is the same birthday and there wasn't an entire year between these stories.
Interesting, huh?
They say a perfect day for Sonic the Hedgehog's bonus birthday celebration to make up for the attack days ago. So that must be talking about Darkest Storm.
Okay.
So, yeah. So Sonic tries to run to the celebration because he's late. But he gets distracted by paparazzi and then trips on a rock and runs into a tree and injures himself.
It's a good way to kill someone, paparazzi assholes.
I do like the newspaper that says Sonic misses own ceremony, slams tree. In other news, ceremony canceled, tree owner filing suit. This is a Chacon story, but that feels like a very Gallagher joke.
Yeah, definitely.
Kinda, yeah.
And then, part of the reason for this story is we can reuse some art, because the entire first 2 pages are repeated exactly here.
Yeah, we got budget shit.
There are 3 pages that are just copies of other pages in this story, which is really pretty funny. I didn't expect that they'd still be pulling that kind of thing.
It is funny with a lowercase f, but it just makes me think, couldn't have a longer battle against King Shadow or showcase his personality more.
Yeah, we couldn't have just killed the whole 2 stories per issue thing. That would have been nice.
Deadlines are harsh, man.
I mean, they had this story, and they probably thought we
that.
have to print it somewhere, but...
Yeah, no, I get the idea. It's like having the backup stories and deadlines are fucking killer sometimes.
Well, saving on a few pages, you can invest in next issue or something.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, this time Sonic is compelled to take the back door, and does the exact same thing again, getting distracted and running into a cart of hay.
Where's this hay going to?
I don't know. This time it says wagon owner filing suit.
Yeah.
So yeah, the hospital panel is repeated, except for the text anyway.
No, their other leg is bandaged, actually.
Oh, you're right!
Oh yeah, it is. Okay, interesting.
So actually, yeah, they redrew the whole thing. It just looks identical.
Right.
Okay, so on the third trip, only the first two panels get reused.
Yeah.
This time, Sonic sees the reporters, says, "Screw it, I'm staying in bed."
Fair enough.
And so the reporters get mad that he won't talk to them, climb up on his roof, and then the whole thing collapses in on itself.
Well, that's definitely some kind of crime.
Surprised they don't show Sonic's parents in the hospital with him and the reporters here.
That's also actually a good point.
Maybe Jules and Bernie aren't here.
Yeah.
But then, randomly, loop number 4 sees Sonic wake up early, and then he just runs to the party while it's still being set up. What's the difference?
Bill
Murray had to grow as a person to escape the time loop.
Sonic grew. He grew to be smarter? Question mark.
He didn't do anything else. I mean, I guess other than staying in bed, is that the lesson? Stay in bed?
I'll take that lesson.
Fuck, I wish Gallagher had written this. It would have been funnier.
They didn't think this out very much.
I mean, no, not really.
I'll say this, it's really funny that after all these years, Dave Monnick's art has not changed at all. He still draws
not
like
really.
It's 1993.
Which, in some ways, it's kind of charming.
No, it's not.
I respect it.
I've never hated
it.
It's funny how much
it's a little out of place now.
Yeah, so that's that story. I think it speaks for itself.
It is fine.
Yeah. Let's move on to Sonic number 168. Hey, Yardley gets to draw a cover.
Nice.
Unfortunately, Sonic has broken a test tube and let the evil juice out.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Not the evil juice.
Yeah, it's so scary that it's making Tails look behind him at Adam. Anyway, story here is Order from Chaos, Part 1 of The Gathering. Flynn and Yardley. I'm going to be saying Flynn and Yardley a lot during this whole era, I'm realizing.
Oh, yeah.
Through the Nanite City, kidnapping Tails and Shadow, and possessing Tommy's body, Adam sets forth his ultimate power play against Sonic and Eggman.
Okay, I've never noticed. Why does Tracy Yardley have an exclamation point?
So I noticed that when I started reading the IDW comics. I've been wondering that also.
I'll tell you why. It's because he's referencing how Scott Shaw used to sign his work.
Oh, okay.
Why Scott Shaw did that, I don't know. But
oh, okay.
Just a bit of flair, but I wondered if it was mimicking something. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
I mean, it's nice. It makes sense as flair. I like it.
Yep. So we start out this story with the main characters roasting Tommy.
Yeah, I was like, what is Tommy a total? Okay, they were kind of disliked, but I didn't think they were disliked because they were just a total screw up. But there is actually a reason for this.
There is a reason, yeah.
Part of this is that this is a response to fan impressions. Tommy was the most hated character in the fandom online at the time.
I
think you mentioned that, and I don't understand it at all.
You did mention that. I don't understand why, to be honest.
Think of it this way: we are binging these stories 5 times a week. If you were reading these month by month and you kept getting all of these Tommy stories, and Tommy is not an interesting character to look at, he doesn't have an interesting personality for the most part, and there are a lot of these characters that, we have complained about getting neglected, and imagine, not seeing Antoine or Bunny do anything cool for months, but they keep spamming Tommy.
Fair.
Okay. Thanks for the refresher. Yeah, I remember that now, but I'd forgotten that.
I mean, I
guess doesn't mean that Tommy is a bad guy or that it really matters, because we're reading these. We don't have a particular issue with Tommy. He's not interesting, but whatever.
Yeah, I guess I always kind of forget about the fact that, like, the way we're reading these is not the way they were really. I don't want to say meant to be read, but the way they were released.
And I want to add, this was Ian's second idea. His first idea was to introduce Omega to the comics by having him explode Tommy.
Jesus.
That doesn't happen.
Okay, yeah. I don't know why they didn't go through, but I hope they didn't go through because someone told him no.
Yes, somebody told him no, that's why.
Okay, good, because that's terrible.
That's a fucking weird idea.
Yeah. Anyway, yes, so Sonic, Tails, and Rotor are lamenting how Tommy has been kind of annoying and unhelpful and even directly counterproductive ever since he got those nanites in his shell in 154.
Which is another thing I'd forgotten about.
Yeah. I did remember that because it was so random.
Yeah, so it's been a weird
remembering now,
yeah.
Kind
of annoying.
It's fucking weird.
Meanwhile, Eggman is deleting Adam because he knows he's anonymous.
Oh my gosh, I haven't seen Eggman for like, what, 3 issues? It's been so long.
I know, it's so nice to see him.
I think it's... The Adam being anonymous thing is so weirdly paced because it's like, oh, Adam is anonymous. I wonder what he's going to do outside of Eggman's purview. And then the next issue, Eggman just knows.
Yeah, it's a little sudden. I have to wonder if it's like...
I mean, this whole thing is one big rewrite. I can hardly blame it for being a little sloppy. Well,
I have to wonder if it's a case of Flynn's original plan was going to take too long.
I'm not sure, but
I don't think we'll ever know.
Eggman recaps the past couple of years of random unconnected schemes to tie it all into Adam's master plan. The Nanite City, the Mecha Goon Squad, Darkest Storm, Metal Troopers, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yardley screwed up the Ancient Walkers. They're supposed to be cool masks in the void, but they do full bodies.
That's true.
That's true. Lose points for that. But otherwise, this is a nice little recap. I definitely wouldn't have remembered all these bits. It was nice that it was laid out.
Yeah, it was
like
nice
this.
to have this. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad that Eggman is catching on, even if it is a little late.
Yep. So, yeah, he's deleting Anonymous, but he just doesn't delete him hard enough. I mean, actually, I should wait before mentioning that because he deletes him, and I do like when he says, "I know that you're anonymous. I'm deleting you from existence. You treasonous waste of coding."
Such harsh language is unnecessary, Father.
And then I love, "Oh, shut up and be deleted already." And we do get another one of those moments, like with M before, where Eggman is kind of sad about it. He says, "Both my children gone," which is again weird because you're the whatever. But yes, he didn't delete him hard enough.
Well, Adam had time to be able to download himself into a copy.
Yes, and in this case, he used the nanites to take control of Tommy's body, totally consuming his form.
Damn, that's
good job.
Interesting.
Yeah, no, that's cool. But
it's the coolest Tommy's ever looked.
Honestly, yeah, kinda.
True. I do find it funny that, I'm glad that this is how it works because Eggman's approach to Trader's robots, I mean, this is pretty consistent, actually, is they just go right up to their face. They're just like, "I'll destroy you for being such a traitor. Now die." Like, Eggman is not very, careful about this sort of thing.
Not really.
It's about time that they're just like, "All right, Adam, you've had enough. Get deleted." And then I was like, no.
Yeah, it finally backfires on him.
Also, hey, I'm just now noticing, Yardley is drawing the bridge between Eggman's glasses here. That means we're done with lens eyes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so Eggman is in trouble, and Adam is controlling stuff with the nanites back at Knothole as well. He infects Nicole's systems, and worse, Bunny's arm and legs. Oh no. It's an especially nasty thing to do to Bunny in particular, because we know she's literally had nightmares about exactly this scenario.
Yeah.
So, thankfully, we got a couple of strong boys here, Rotor, Knuckles, and Vector, to hold her down, and Rotor deactivates her limbs. So, yeah, I feel bad for her, but anyway.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So Sonic goes running out. I like that Sonic asks, "Where is Tails?" But he's like, "I think I threw him outside." And Sonic walks through that door to see Tails being carried off by his dad,
who also makes it clear that he's not in control.
Yeah. So
yeah, this is interesting. They found the one Robian that was left, and they're like, "Okay, we have some more drama we can do here with controlling Robians."
Yeah. Yep. Jules has a very small part in this story, but I do like it. I like that he can think and he can kind of talk to Sonic, and he says, "Yeah, I'm running toward the Nanite City, but I can't tell you why. That's the limit of my ability to speak to you."
Yeah.
Actually, he doesn't say that, but he says, "I can tell you that I'm leading you into a trap." It doesn't say where, but it's fine. It becomes obvious that it's in Nanite City.
Yeah.
And at said city, Shadow arrives to find Eggman being held captive by Adam.
I forgot that Shadow was working with Eggman for some reason.
I keep forgetting that Shadow's working with Eggman.
Because it's weird and doesn't make sense. And they're
Not
going to stop doing
really.
it soon, thankfully. Is that in this episode or next week?
I
think
I can't remember.
It's kind of shown at the end of the episode.
Okay. Anyway, Shadow tries to fight Adam, but the nanites are very strong against him. So he's actually getting his ass handed to him.
Yeah.
Adam talks a lot, and he's like, "Yes, I'm even more ultimate than the ultimate life form." Ah.
Okay, sure.
I suppose he did steal Mogul's Chaos Emeralds, so that might be part of why.
Yeah, that's probably part of why, but, okay, sure.
He puts Shadow in a tube as Jules arrives with Tails for the same purpose. He needs Super Shadow and he needs Turbo Tails. And he also explains that he knows that throughout the universe, there are 7 possible colors of Chaos Emerald.
Alright, here's more shit we need to get partially in line with the games.
Yep.
This is a way to do it.
Yeah, this is certainly a way to do it.
We'll get there when we get there.
Yeah, we're not quite there yet. Yeah, Adam really talks a lot here. It's clear that they take after their father.
Oh, yeah.
But it's funny because they're like, "Oh yes, this is my brilliant plan to use the prophecy against the heroes," because apparently this was actually truly what the prophecy was all of the reuniting of the emeralds. Apparently, okay, good job. And they're like, "Aren't you so proud, Father?" And Eggman's like, "Yeah, it's a little convoluted. You're one to talk."
Yeah. Yeah, so he says he knows that Sonic is coming, and he knows that Eggman has already called the Egg Fleet to come blow him up. But it's too late. The big machine activates. Oh no! And we end on, I will have all of the Chaos Emeralds from the universe. So you kind of know what's going to happen here.
Yeah.
But, we'll get there when we get there. It's certainly something. I don't know. I kind of like it. I like that there's a flux capacitor in the machine.
Oh, you're right.
But yeah, it's 2 issues and it's 2 stories an issue, and thankfully this other story is not a gigantic waste of time. This is Courage and Honor, written by Flynn, art by Gary Biddell, and this is his only story.
I can see why.
I wondered. I was like, have we seen this art before?
We hadn't seen this art before, and I can see why this is their only story.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. But finally returned to his home dimension, Antoine contemplates his life, his friends, and his family, until Sonic arrives with some bad news. Also, Antoine's apartment has a Pokeball in it.
Huh, yeah. It does.
So yes, he's checking out his home after everything Patch did as him. He apparently ransacked the place. He says, "You destroyed all that was valuable to me," and I honestly don't see what he means, because it just kind of looks disheveled.
I mean, there's what looks like a broken picture frame bottom left corner. But yeah, for the most part, it just kind of looks messy.
Yeah.
I'd like to point out Antoine looks mostly fine here.
He looks okay in these shots. Once Bunny shows up to help him clean up and give him some words of reassurance. Yeah, the art makes him look way too humanoid.
Yeah, what the fuck?
It's a bit odd.
They're so gangly.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that they're gangly. I wouldn't say they look too humanoid. They're stretched out compared to their normal version.
And it's especially weird when Sonic shows up.
Yeah, I think that's
because look at his eyes are as big as Antoine's entire head. I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Because Bunny and Antoine do talk a little bit, and I do like that they're giving them, character stories.
Yeah.
And I like that Antoine, he's kind of messed up about having to live Patch's life, and then Bunny's like, he's starting to sound like him. But apparently, being the anti-freedom fighters means that you're fucking miserable, because he says that it was the worst life being with them.
Well, yeah, he says, interestingly, the way he describes them is not, like, they're not really all that mean, they're just sad, which is interesting.
Yeah, that's weird because I'm like, oh, what? We're gonna get like deep in characterization, and then they refuse to elaborate further.
It would have been nice to get a little bit more of what he means by that.
Yeah. Well, the story is not really about that.
No, it's just a weird tease almost.
Yeah.
Yes. Bunny does say that, oh, you should just come move in with me. And he says, well, first I should, and then Sonic interrupts. So yeah, again, teasing stuff. But
sure.
Yeah, Sonic does not fit in with them at all. My God.
No.
He's got the big Ron Lim TV screen eyes, and his proportions are completely different from them, and his hair is not his traditional 3 quills. It's just kind of a big...
It's Super Saiyan 3 hair.
Yeah. But Sonic doesn't matter this story. He just tells Antoine, you need to get to the hospital. I'm not going to go into specifics, but basically everyone can tell it's because Antoine's dad is dying.
Right. Mm-hmm. Which I'd forgotten was already a thing, I think.
Was that a thing?
I think he'd already been poisoned when we stopped breathing.
Both Armand and the king.
Yeah, but, okay. Yeah.
Since Armand was way closer to Antoine, Patch was able to get a lot more to him than the king.
Right.
And yeah, Doc Quack is here, and he says there's nothing I can do, basically. And yeah, we go to see Armand, and this is very, evocative of the Pender's Lock Death story. It even ends on an in memoriam for Ian's grandmother. I think it's his grandmother.
Interesting.
Born in the 20s, so probably not his mother. But we actually have character work here, which is why I like it better than the Locke story.
That's fair, yeah.
We did not spend a lot of time with Armand, but he was never Locke, even if he wasn't perfect.
No, generally we seem to put up with Antoine's dad.
Yeah, we know that there was always...
I didn't dislike him.
There was always that underlying thread of Antoine wanting to make his father proud.
Right.
And he's insecure. That motivates a lot of his overblown bravado and self-importance.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I'm sorry, I'm such a screw-up, I'm such a failure. And he's like, what are you talking about? You're a brave warrior. Why would I not be immensely proud of my son?
Mm-hmm.
That's nice to see, at least.
Yeah.
And I like how he has words for Bunny as well. She mentions like, oh, I kissed Sonic in 152 that one time, and he was like, both Armand and Antoine were like, dude, who cares? Everybody is on the same page that was gross and stupid. Just forget about it.
Right, which I appreciate that everyone's on the same page about all that.
Especially since was that before we had Antoine back, or was that it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, you didn't know. Don't blame her for the stuff that went down there.
Right.
So yeah. And yeah, he's basically saying, you two are good kids, don't let all that stuff get in your way. And yeah, tearful goodbye, but it's a good one that reestablishes Antoine and Bunny's character traits and their relationship, which is necessary after all that stuff that went down.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, Rip Armand. He was not much of a character, but they gave him a good send-off anyway.
Yeah. Well, I'll give him that.
Even if the art style is still super weird.
That's not his fault.
It's not Armand's fault. This is why you're dying, Dad. It's because you didn't have the right art style.
Okay, but actually in these scenes here, when you don't see the characters' full bodies, it actually doesn't look.
It looks
fine.
When they're sitting down, it honestly doesn't look that bad.
That's the thing. I think once you get past the Sonic panel, it's like I'm kind of used to it. The artist is not unskilled. It's just not.
Yeah, it feels like someone who doesn't have they don't have the experience of drawing Sonic characters,
but still doing their best. Yeah.
Yeah, if they were like on literally any other comic, there are probably be way more fitting.
Yeah. Anywho, let's move along to Sonic number 169. That is 3 super forms.
Yes, it is.
Yep.
And also, Tails' hair is very curly here. I guess, is that a trait of Turbo Tails? I don't think it is.
How many times have we seen Turbo Tails before? Like twice?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I remember Turbo Tails versus Gruckles, and I remember Turbo Tails versus Mogul.
Those are the only 2 I can remember. So, that doesn't mean anything, though.
Anyway, Order from Chaos Part 2, The Great Harmony. Adam's plan draws in Chaos Emeralds from all across the universe, which Super Shadow and Turbo Tails are here to keep out of the villain's hands. Meanwhile, defeating Adam himself falls on the hands of Sonic, and none other than Tommy Turtle. Also, yeah, Flynn and Yardley. I didn't even write it on this one.
You can assume as much.
Yeah, I think we can just assume it's Flynn and Yardley, unless you say otherwise.
Anyway, Jules is lying on the ground. He was given an order by Adam to self-destruct, but he didn't tell him how or when, so he's like, I'll just let myself rust to death.
God.
Smart move.
I mean, yeah, that's...
I like that he can, like, rules lawyer orders that are given to him.
Yep.
Although it does make it... Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, honestly, that's how, like, actual Eggman robots act sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah. So I'll
I was just going to say, it's funny that if you think about it, for every comic that Jules appears in after this, he's technically following Adam's orders.
It's true.
The point is, Jules is okay. Sonic makes sure that his dad is okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he goes to confront the villains, but as he makes his way there, we see a big montage of Chaos Emeralds.
Okay, so first of all, I have to say this is ridiculous. Like,
this is so stupid.
I know you're in a hurry, but remotely pulling all the Chaos Emeralds across the entire universe into one location, it's a little over the top. Like,
it's a little over the top, yeah.
If you were really in a hurry, just say like, oh, you know, in the background while Eggman was doing things, Adam was like sending out probes or something. I don't know. But just being like, oh, I pulled them all right now. It's that easy.
It's funny.
It's ridiculous.
There's a minor detail I'm going to spoil here because it doesn't really matter. But I just recently got done taking notes for a much later story that involves Babylon Garden and how that has, you know, in Sonic Riders, that has a warp drive in it. And they say at one point that Adam was trying to use the warp drive to teleport all of the Chaos Emeralds rather than just remotely pull them.
Interesting.
But he didn't actually do that because he couldn't get the key.
Huh.
Gotcha.
Which I guess teleporting them is not really that different from just pulling them in, but it looks less silly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is part of it. Is that it does look silly. Honestly, it's just I wish this could have been a larger arc. It would have been cool to revisit these places.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
But oh well. Even so, I am so happy to see Karheem of Wheat mentioned.
Yes.
I didn't even remember them.
Planet Wheat has the cyan Chaos Emeralds. We see the Zorda with the blue ones.
Yeah.
The concept of different colored emeralds coming from different planets is interesting.
Oh, I love it.
Well, yeah, because we had seen the red Chaos Emerald from Thoraxia before.
Exactly. Yeah. In fact, all of the planets that Sonic visited in Tossed in Space are relevant here, including the blown up one and the sun that Eve flew into.
Missed opportunity to call them sister, but oh well.
They never knew each other anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, and yeah, just the fucking deep cut of Planet Wheat. We needed one more alien world.
Wow. Yeah.
Very funny. It's great.
Yeah. Also, it's funny that the editor's note mentions how the Prowlers are still stranded on Argentum, but it's like that has nothing. Imagine like, you know, being a new reader and you're like, what? Tails' parents are living there?
Yeah, that is funny. In retrospect, though, that's kind of nice that they point that out, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we have every Chaos Emerald in the universe, and we have giant rings of them surrounding the control tower here. And yeah, that's ridiculous.
Absolutely preposterous.
It's almost to a level of ridiculousness where it's kind of cool, but not. It really isn't cool.
It makes it kind of insane that during Sonic's battle with Naugus, having all of those rings makes him his supposed most powerful form, but having every Chaos Emerald in the universe here, when they get to that, just makes him go super.
Right, instead of getting, like, some interesting form.
Yeah. Or make him fucking explode, because it's entirely too much Chaos energy. So yeah. I do like that they do cover, like, what about the Master Emerald? And the answer is, Locke and Finitivus both use Chaos Power to keep it in place.
They're both trying as hard as they can to make it not move.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of a cool moment, but also it makes it even more ridiculous. So this is really the only snag. This is the only emerald you couldn't grab.
Yeah. I do like that Finidus clearly has ulterior motives, but they still have to work together because he hasn't quite shown the full extent of his villainy yet.
Right.
Yeah.
It's making the whole island shake as well, I'm noticing. So, now Sonic gets here, and he tries to fight Adam, but he doesn't really want to hurt Tommy, who is still alive and conscious in there. And I do like that during this whole battle, Adam is like, I will make Father proud. I will be the true successor of his will.
Okay. So this is the moment when I'm like, this is just too stupid. Like,
this is getting really silly.
So first you have all that. That's the plot. Like, okay, I guess I've seen worse. I have actually seen worse. But then this is the reveal. Like I really, like I said, I had my own theory about how Adam was trying to be like a better Eggman or something. But just like, oh, I just want to make Father proud. When Father right there is like, you're no son of mine, you digital double crosser. Like, what? What is this?
It's definitely, again, it's a compromise because you know that, I don't know, necessarily what the plan was for the original Robotnik Adam Anonymous, because obviously it wouldn't have been this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It is weird. Refuge in audacity, I would say, is the term here, because like you're saying, this is a ridiculous concept on the face of it. For me, it's like, I'm still kind of having fun, so I don't mind too much.
Sure, no, this is, I don't mind, I don't mind ridiculous, but like,
but it's hard to take seriously.
Goddamn. Yeah, this is so stupid.
Yeah. Sonic at one point hits him in the face and blasts away the nanites, and you can see Tommy in there. And yeah, Adam was so jealous of them that he framed her just to get Eggman to kill her. He just wants daddy's love.
Eggman's too good at making manipulative robots.
I guess, but like it clearly isn't working.
No, it isn't working. Eggman keeps calling him a traitor.
I hope they retry this in modern material and we get like a Sage versus Metal story or something.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. It's just like all you had to do was just cleverly suggest this in a way that like Eggman feels like it was their own idea so that they wouldn't feel like you're undermining them. But you just do that basically, and then they'll be happy.
Yeah, that's what it is. Is that Adam is too stupid.
Adam's too stupid, exactly.
Yeah, Adam is stupid. Honestly, they're actually really stupid here because, well, I'm getting ahead of myself. But yeah, I like this frame when they punch Sonic backwards, and then Eggman of all people is like helping them up. They're just like, all right, hang in there, Sonic. Don't worry, I'll blast this guy to bits with my egg plate in a moment.
I do like seeing Eggman, even when Eggman understands he has to help Sonic sometimes.
Well, he's using him, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Adam does overhear that, and he flies upwards, so he and Sonic run through the Rings of Chaos Emeralds, and both of them go super. Why can nanites go super?
I don't know. At this point, I really don't care, because whatever, it's cool. It's still kind of cool.
The golden nanite turtle wings. He does look cool. I'm not saying he doesn't.
He does look cool.
It looks cool, but it also is ridiculous. It's just like, oh, you're given your weird Tommy design. This feels like a fan character. Like someone was the biggest fan of Tommy. And so
someone make Tommy the most badass motherfucker around.
Basically, that's what this feels like.
Well, it was always weird for Penders to give him the nanite stuff that gave him wings and all that in the first place. Right. But you do also gotta remember there's a reason they're building up Tommy.
Oh yes. I'm just once again saying it's really silly.
Yes, indeed. Eggman lets Tails and Shadow out of their tubes and says, "Hey, go do something."
Yeah. So this is the bit where Adam is being a complete idiot. Like, they were like restraining Eggman earlier, but they seemingly completely forgot about them. Because Eggman could just be like, I'll just let these two supercharged people out of their little containment units. They're convenient.
If they showed Adam try to stop them, but then Sonic get in his way, that's what I would have done. Maybe he is But they do all this stuff, and then they cut back to Supersonic and Atom just floating there. It doesn't even look like they're fighting yet. So yeah, that would have been
yeah.
Anyway, Tails says this many Chaos Emeralds is too much for anybody to handle, so we'll use Chaos Control to open a portal to the Zone of Silence.
Yeah.
This
is funny because Shadow is like, all right, Tails, what are we gonna do? And Tails is like, oh, don't worry, I got this. And so they're like,
plan, bro.
Like, okay, yeah, we'll open up to the Zone of Silence, and I'll finish the prophecy that I thought I already finished. Yeah, because you did already finish it. Very clear retcon here. And then they're like, all right, yeah, we'll unify them, put them together, and then Shadow's like, okay, but like, what's gonna happen when we just put a whole bunch of Chaos Emeralds in the Zone of Silence? And there's this great line where Tails is like, oh, I don't know, something special. I hope. I see what you did there.
Yeah,
it's so stupid.
It's so fun in a dumb way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is the part of Tails' Chosen One prophecy that's gonna stick. Now that being said, yeah, I don't know. Mogul, bleh. it's
that was funny in a different way.
Part of it is that, I think they want to say, I fulfilled the prophecy I thought I'd already finished, and then they have an editor's note bring up 150. Maybe they just did that because they didn't want to say that Titan Tails was the real conclusion to that.
I guess.
Anyway, so Adam's plan is ruined, but he's like, I can still go after Sonic. And then, no, you can't. Tommy regains control of his body for just a second. I don't know how exactly that works, but okay.
It's because they gotta have their cool heroic moment. But dude, get your cool heroic moment like in 2 pages. Sonic didn't even get to fight your super form. What the heck?
It's true. Sonic was super for no reason.
Issue has a second story or not? Yes. So he gives a big speech about how sorry he is for being at the center of so much trouble, and for stealing screen time, which is the thing the fans were complaining about.
I guess ironically, that's what they just did too.
Yeah, I guess. But he says, I only get control for a second. Adam will take it back soon, and he needs to be obliterated, or the nanites will never stop. And as we see, the Egg Fleet is arriving.
Yeah, I wonder.
Eggman gives the command that he was always going to, and now this strange, sad character has been turned to nothing but dust and ash.
Yeah.
Sonic Comics kill off characters now, guys.
Yeah.
This is so weird.
This is really weird.
I do kind of like it, though, that Sonic is all wrapped up in this. It seems like they kind of forgot that Eggman literally told them, yeah, I'm going to blast this guy to atoms as soon as I didn't mean to do that. As soon as I get an opportunity. And then they just do it.
They do. It's
a lot like that Sir Connery moment last time where thematically this is all super weird, but because it has such good presentation and is done with the absolute most possible amount of like cinematic framing and just drama, they make an extremely weirded kind of dumb plot still kind of feel
it still kind of hits.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Because the presentation is on point. 100%. But yeah, the plot's not quite there.
The plot's a little all over the place. Yeah, it's
So yeah, and I do like Eggman's follow-up.
We have a meme on page what page is this? 14? Yeah. The Shadow's face while Tails is bawling.
Oh yeah.
What is that face?
It's supposed to be this like sad, impactful scene, but Shadow's face is so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Shadow's silly face next to Tails crying his eyes out. I had no context
him a more neutral expression. Instead, he looks genuinely pissed off.
Yeah, he looks angry.
Which maybe he doesn't like seeing a man die. I don't know, but
well, no, I'm sure. Yeah, but like it should have shot. If anything, it should have been the same. It should have been something more like his face in the next panel where he's looking away.
Yeah. I do like Eggman's response, which is like, so much for family. What a colossal waste of time, and I missed out on a literal ton of Chaos Emeralds.
Oh, Eggman always got the right priorities.
So callous. It's awesome.
It hurts. It hurts. You're rubbing salt in the wound, man, though. Why would you be like, the egg family was such a waste of time? Like, you well put, I guess, because you made it a waste of time.
Yeah. If you just had better control over your AI, Eggman, come on.
So Sonic lands to commiserate with Tails, and his Tails' shoes are drawn wrong. They have the red and white switch. They look like clown shoes. Anyway, yeah, they're both wistful about this. No more Anonymous, no more Adam, no more Tommy.
Damn, and, I guess.
Yeah, again, the drama panels, it's like it's a good panel. It's like I'll use this for a thumbnail maybe.
Yeah, this middle panel here with Sonic wistfully holding what I can only assume are the smoking remains floating away of Tommy Turtle.
Yeah.
Looks really nice.
But it's just such a strange plotline.
It's so silly.
Yeah. So yeah, that's that story. It's again, something. I'm not bored.
Yeah, I'm not bored.
No.
I'm more confused, if anything.
But we're not quite hitting peak Sonic comics just yet. It's very weird.
Yeah.
I'll give it to him. This is a different brand of I'm unsatisfied than I've seen, I think, in these comics before.
Yeah, this is more of a case of I'm still entertained, unsatisfied for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, with other unsatisfied, it's really been a case of like, God, this is terrible, and I'm not even entertained.
Yeah.
Well, let's get to something that is building up something that actually deserves it. This is the second story. It's called For a Friend. It's written by Flynn and drawn by Butler. And oh, hey, remember how Ken Penders quit? Well, technically, he didn't leave Archie entirely until after he had inked this story.
Okay, I was wondering about that because I saw his name and immediately had flashbacks.
Yeah, it's fine. His inking work is perfectly acceptable.
No, his inking work is fine. In fact, I kind of like it.
Yeah. Amy Ray's colors leave something to be desired in this story. They're very bland looking, but...
Fair.
Yes, in this story, SBO infiltrates what's left of Golden Hive Colony to look for Charmy's family.
I feel like this is the first time we've seen SBO do literally anything useful.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, he hasn't been an independent character of himself very much.
Yeah, like, we get to see him do some actual ninja shit, and it's kind of cool.
Yeah. I don't know if he had the design before this. This is the first time he's acted like a ninja.
Yeah, I mean, he actually, yeah.
Yeah, so Vector is back at Knot Hole while Mighty and Ray are staking things out on Angel Island. And yeah, SBO, he turns off his radio, but he's infiltrating what's left of Golden Hive. Become a fortress of evil.
Oh my gosh, it's Dark Golden Hive.
Yeah, which would be more impactful if we saw this place more than like once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we get 3 pages of action with almost no dialogue, which is cool.
Yeah, it's cool seeing SBO do ninja shit, and we get to see him turn invisible, which I guess we've seen him do before, but like turn invisible for more purpose.
Yeah, he interrogates an egg pawn and then slashes him in half. The
interrogating an egg pawn is interesting.
Yeah, he does the hero's triangle jump to get over these ones.
Oh yeah, it's some wall jumping. Yeah.
Ceiling. And then I love this joke where he ruins this poor little guy's game of solitaire.
Damn, what an asshole.
Also, Eggman-themed solitaire is something I want.
Oh, yeah, I buy
definitely.
a deck of Eggman-themed cards.
That would be great.
And that bag he's been carrying the whole time has Nicole in it.
Oh my gosh, Nicole.
Actually, it's not a bag, it's just Nicole with a lanyard on. But anyway, yes, he plugs her in, and he lampshades how Eggman robots have emotions and how weird that is. And Nicole says, I think it's because he's deeply lonely.
Which is something we've questioned before, so it's nice to see the comics question it also.
Yeah, it's interesting to see them acknowledge that. Yeah, it's kind of the same explanation that you would assume, I suppose.
Yeah.
It is funny, she says, without Snively or any family, I hypothesize he fills the void in his life with robots, which is extremely funny to see right after the comic with so much for family. Fuck Adam.
Yeah.
And I guess she also says without Snively, so I guess nobody knows Snively went back to him yet.
Yeah, no one checks up on Snively, which yeah, that makes sense.
Actually, where was Snively during the whole last comic? I don't think he appeared at once.
He did not. Oh wait. No, I don't think he did.
Yeah. Anyway, So yeah. Anyway, the whole reason he's plugging Nicole in, and also they use her Lynx design, which is cute. She is basically to check to see where the rest of the bees could be, if there's any place that they're known to be hiding out. And she says no, they basically just scattered in whatever direction was away, and none of them are here anymore. So SBO decides that means this place is not, it's not good to leave it here. You know, it's an asset to Eggman, so we're going to blow it up.
Yeah.
Also, SBO uses his tongue to stick to the ceiling and go through this grid here, which is extremely weird to look at.
Yeah, that is very strange.
Does he ever do anything like that in the games? I don't think so.
I can't think of a point.
Don't think so.
Yeah. So, yeah, they blow it up, and it's like, well, that's some closure for Charmy. Anything for a friend, hence the name of the story.
Some closure for Charmy, but Charmy is not in the story.
No, he's not here. It's like, that seems like a missed opportunity.
Yeah, we should have found Charmy here or something. Yeah. I don't know why he'd be here, but I'm not the writer. It's not my job.
It's fine. There's nothing in particular wrong with it, but
no, it's aggressively fine.
It's closing off. It's closing off the idea that we're ever going back to Golden Hive, I guess.
Yeah.
Anywho, Sonic number 170. Tails gets to talk to his parents, maybe?
I hope
this is a weird cover because
it is a very strange cover.
Tails and Sally look like super unsure, and Sonic almost looks evil.
Yeah, he's the master manipulator. I don't know.
I guess.
Anywho, comings and goings, Flintyard Lee. Sonic and Tails secure a Chaos Emerald from the new and improved Zone of Silence to cure King Max of his poisoning. Meanwhile, Merlin has some plans for visiting his family. And, yeah, Max got less poison than Armand, but he's still in bad shape.
Yeah, I mean, any poison is not a good amount of poison.
Yeah, and, well, we know where all the Chaos Emeralds are right now, so we might as well try and get one to heal him.
Yeah.
And yes, Tails having that expression from the comic, it's better conveyed in this panel where he says, I know what it's like to be missing your family, because that looks less uncertain and more just kind of sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And hey, they rigged up star posts for dimensional travel, which I think is neat.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yep.
And, well, they use them, and the Zone of Silence sure is looking different now. It's a lot more colorful.
Looks pretty special, if you ask me.
It looks very special.
It's, they retconned the Zone of Silence into the Special Zone.
This is funny because, like, the Special Zone was already a place, so, like, that's kind of weird. You didn't need to invent a new one, but okay.
Yes, it was already a place, but they barely used it.
True. No, it's fine. And besides, now doing something with the Zone of Silence gives you more deep callbacks. Because I suddenly get surprised by the return of none other than Feist. What?
Yeah, this is a callback I was not expecting.
This big ass panda man appeared like once and then never again. But now he is the master of the Special Zone.
This is great. Give random characters roles.
No, I think this is awesome. And now that he's the master of the Special Zone, he's like, I give people trials for entertainment.
That is also a fabulous explanation for why you have to do like random gimmick challenges when you go to the special stage.
I wouldn't mind seeing something like this incorporated into the game.
I was about to say that. I wouldn't mind seeing this in, like, a normal Sonic game. Or maybe not this specifically, but something like this.
Yeah, because in the games, they don't really... The special zone is not really a place.
There.
And the Chaos Emeralds just kind of lie around sometimes, but are in Special Zone other times.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the games, it almost feels like the special stages don't really exist. They're just like a gameplay thing.
Yeah.
And you're not canon.
Yeah. So anyway, he would give you, he would be giving Sonic and Tails a trial, but Sonic and Tails have been good to him, so he just gives them this one for free.
Like, all right, I'll challenge you for the next one. Here's one freebie.
Yeah. But, neat. This comic's actually, it's like it feels like a missed opportunity, but this comic's not actually about that anyway, and we will see the trials happen eventually, so.
Okay. Oh, I fully expected that we'd see it later. This comic just has other things to do right now.
Yeah, this comic is just to set that up.
Yep. So, Quack and Charles use their combined expertise on this machine to help the king using the Chaos Emerald, and he floats up like he's possessed, but it saves his life. So, yeah, he's okay now, and he was asleep so long he didn't even know Elias was back.
That's true, yeah. I hadn't thought about that until I saw this.
Yeah, I guess being poisoned will do that to you.
Yeah, generally.
Bro.
So, good for that family, I guess. He's happy to see Elias as king, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yep, I guess Max gets to stick around. They're not gonna join the ranks of the killed off characters for now.
I mean, if we can make him better, I'll put up with him.
Anyway.
That's kind of what I was expecting to hear from me saying that.
You know what? I'm not done taking notes on the Flynn era yet, and I know that he has some stuff in the very late game, if you can believe that, so I'll wait and see before I cast full judgment.
Interesting, okay.
So Sonic and Tails leave them all to reconcile, and yeah, we're just gonna have to wait and see what direction Flynn takes Max's character. But here's a nice thing, that Chaos Emerald isn't done for today.
Yeah, it gets to now trade hands over to Merlin.
It feels sometimes like whenever they have a Chaos Emerald, it only gets to be used for one thing, and then they have to get another one.
It is kind of nice that they're like, hey, we still have this, let's go, and Merlin needs it.
Yeah, and speaking of deep cuts, yeah, Merlin wants it, and he also wants the Guiding Star Gem.
I never expected to hear that about that thing again.
Same.
This is, like, half of this shit is just Ian flexing on how good a fan he was at reading the other comics.
You're like, yeah, I paid attention, here's a thing you haven't thought about in, like, fucking 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, he's going to use it to bring the Prowers home.
Yeah.
So that's exciting.
Wow. Yeah. Tails finally gets to have parents again.
And I guess...
sorry.
Okay, I was gonna say, I guess this confirms that that's actually what the Guiding Star Gem does, because when Knuckles used it in that other comic, it wasn't clear what exactly it was doing.
Fair.
Yeah, you could kind of presume what it was doing, but yeah, it wasn't really explained very well.
Anyway.
Yeah, so I feel like they forgot to mention something here, because, like, to me, I'm like, oh, okay, so they've got the gray Chaos Emerald, so they're going to use the gray Chaos Emerald to go back to the gray Chaos Emerald's origin world, but they never actually say that explicitly, so is that just, like, a coincidence, and they just didn't think about that?
Huh, that's an interesting coincidence.
That's a good point.
Yeah, huh.
Yeah, maybe that's what they intended, I don't know.
It's kind of weird they never said that, but alright. Anyway.
Well, it's also weird that they didn't find, like, a table to place it on. They just sit down here out in the grass in front of Freedom HQ. But,
they're enjoying the sun.
So, Knuckles, Merlin, and Tails all channel their emotions and powers to reach out to Argentum. And Sonic sits there and mentions, I haven't seen Fiona in a while. Don't know what's up with that. But everyone's transported, sort of. Yeah, I guess they are.
Yeah.
But something is bad going on. Something bad is going on. I'm talking like a fucking caveman.
Something is bad going on.
Everybody's transported to Argentum, but there's a bunch of explosions in the sky because the Zorda are here, and they're at war with the Black Arms.
The Black Arms?
Yeah, that's a bit of a random one.
A weird way to introduce the Black Arms offhandedly in the background of a story that has nothing to do with them.
Yeah, you don't even see them.
Yeah, we just see their ships.
Yeah, it's very
and also
odd.
Tails' parents just are here suddenly.
Well, the others are out in the open. Maybe they just saw them and came in. I don't know.
I guess, because Tails, we
were channeling Tails' emotion to locate them, so maybe they appeared next to them.
But Tails runs off. I guess Merlin chases him.
Yeah, Tails runs off and Merlin chases him, and then Rosemary and Amadeus come up behind Sonic and Knuckles, and they're like, "Hey guys,
it's there's a war happening on this planet, so of course we have to do our let's reintroduce Tails to his parents moment while in the middle of a war zone."
Yeah.
Yep.
Though, Sonic's credit, I like that he sees them and is like, wait, hold on, they just ran off, let me go get them.
Yeah, at least, yeah, he doesn't let them go any further with the hold on, and it's like, hold on a second.
God, I can so imagine a Pender's version of this where they drag this out because they run off, and then they talk to the Prowlers for a while, and they're like, "Oh, well, let me go find them" or something, and then they get caught up in some stupid thing, and then there's a cliffhanger.
It's like 3 issues.
And then another writer writes the conclusion story for them.
Yeah, Ken leaves the comics, and Flynn still has to finish it anyway. Damn. Anyway.
Yes, so Merlin is reunited with his brother, and Tails is... Well, let's be honest, this might as well be the first time he's ever met his parents for real.
Yeah, basically. Which is why he's a little awkward about it at first.
Yeah. If we're talking Dragon Ball parallels, this is Goku meeting Goten at the tournament.
Oh, yeah.
Comes across a little shy. But, you know, Tails has been through some shit recently, so...
he really has.
It's good to have him reunited with his folks. And
yeah, it's nice that he gets a happy little moment.
Yeah.
Again, we're going to the fact that this is in the middle of a war zone.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. The Black Arms would never kill people.
No, they didn't kill anyone. Remember, the entirety of Westopolis was evacuated.
Exactly. Anyway, yeah, no, it's cute. It's fine.
Oh, I like the scene. Don't get me wrong. I'm just like, guys, come on. Fun. You have the ability to go back to Mobius. Why don't we do this where it's safer?
Yep. So then they go do that.
Yeah.
Elias welcomes them back to the kingdom and invites Amadeus to serve a role in the court. And Amadeus accepts, but he also says he has some ideas to contribute about how the kingdom should be run.
This is ominous.
It's foreshadowing. It's interesting.
I think I know what it's foreshadowing.
Well, we'll see that in a little while.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Sonic goes to visit Tommy and Connery's graves. And it's really funny because somebody comes up behind him and Sonic says, "There you are, I've been looking for you all day, girl." And then it's Knuckles. Which is to say Fiona's still not around.
Right.
I do like Sonic teasing Knuckles about how, like, Julie Sue would enjoy hanging out at graveyards. And I honestly, I'm wondering if that's, like, you know, bring up... Because we had that moment where she was, like, sitting in her apartment watching old, like, black and white horror B movies. And I kind of wish we had more of Weird Girl Julie Sue. So, anyway, the two of them lament the missing and the dead. Knuckles mentions the Brotherhood still missing, but honestly, I was still convinced at this point that they are just dead.
I like this here, though, because it actually feels like these two like each other, finally.
Yeah, Sonic and Knuckles being friends is something that never happened under Penders.
Yeah, they're constantly antagonistic towards each other under Penders, whereas here, it seems like they're actually, like, you know, they actually want to, like, be around each other.
They're bros who can tease each other. That did happen a little bit, I would say.
A teensy bit. It wasn't enough. That's the
Ballers.
Thing. Yeah. I just feel like we didn't get enough of that because they are supposed to be friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's nice. I think this isn't super unexpected. I think we've kind of been seeing this at this point.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, we've been seeing in the last couple weeks at least. We've been definitely seeing it.
I'll say this, you know, we're here at the graveyard. Neither of them brings up Armand. I'm wondering if maybe those stories were written out of order.
I wouldn't surprise me.
Probably.
Yeah. Although if you had just drawn a third grave, I guess that would have been all that matters. Anyway, they also mention Shadow, who is still with Eggman, and how he might not be such a bad guy, as they're going to Chuck's diner. And we end off on Shadow, who is attacking Eggman over Professor Gerald's diary.
Yeah, I forgot we saw this at the very end here.
Yeah, all right, we're ending this alliance that already made no sense.
Yeah. So, guess what next issue is about?
Clearly, Shadow kills Eggman.
Probably.
Yes,
I mean, they're killing off lots of characters, so might as well kill them off again.
Yeah, do it again. Let the comics meander around for, like, fucking 3 years again.
Yeah, don't do that, actually.
But we do get an interesting thing between our two stories here, which is more inventory clearing, probably, because there's a bunch of old off panels in a row.
Yeah, I just kind of skimmed these, to be honest.
I did not look at them at all.
So haven't these always been here? They just weren't included in the collections that you shared. I assumed that was true.
I thought that was the case because this is the first time I really remembered.
Sometimes they've had them, sometimes they haven't.
Okay, I barely remembered any off panels, so I just figured that what we'd been reading had cut them out.
Yeah, I thought so. So I didn't pay any attention to these.
Some of the old ones might have cut them out. I don't remember.
I like barely skimmed this. I saw Conan and I was like, all right, cool, I can ignore this.
Yeah. What this is alluding to is that in the Flynn era, they are going to bring back the off panels, but they're going to actually make them funny because they're not going to be just Sonic hanging out with the editor all the time.
Right, which why would Sonic be hanging out with the editor in the first place?
And this is why I think it's inventory clearing, is because there's 4 of them at once here.
Right.
Gotcha.
But yes, we do have one more story in this, and you'd think that it was an inventory backup story, but no. This is The Island of Misfit Badniks, written by Gallagher and drawn by Monarch, and this is actually a promotion for the Sonic Archives books.
Oh.
Huh. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but in this, Sonic finds his way to the home for decommissioned badniks. He's just running through the Great Forest, which should tell you how dated Monarch's sense of place in these comics is. And yeah, he falls into a hole. Sorry, not Monarch, Gallagher. Falls into a hole which has an Eggman map to an island. I guess Robotnik 1, not Eggman.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's an island where broken or decommissioned badniks were sent. It's the island of misfit badniks. And Sonic just uses a plank of wood to tread water.
Sure, that works.
I guess, yeah, why not?
I guess when you're that fast, maybe.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's the island of misfit toys, but it's badniks.
Yeah.
Yep. Sonic hits the shore, and I like that they're like, huh? Clank? The entire island is just metal, I guess.
Yeah, it's metal sand.
Sure, yeah.
Metal sand and the like. And then, yep, here are the promised badniks. They're all here, but Jaws, could have just attacked out on the shore, but instead they're just in a little bowl here.
I didn't even think of that. Motobug is still being miscolored all these years.
Damn.
I don't even see it wrong. I'm so used to it at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess maybe Jensen looked back at the earlier stories for reference. That would be my guess. Because most of the other ones
surprise
right?
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, let's say that. It's for consistency.
Exactly.
Yeah. So they attack him, he breaks out of their restraints, he breaks some heads, but then he gets punched by Pseudo Sonic.
Man,
this is a sit up straight in my chair moment for sure.
Yeah,
I was reading this like, okay, yeah, we're almost done. Just got to get through this backup story. And then this guy shows up. I'm like, oh, they're serious.
Oh,
deep callback number 2000 at this point.
From way back in issue 9, yeah. And he recaps that issue with the hilarious addendum that he and Sonic never actually met.
I love that. I love that. They really did make sure to be true to the continuity because that strangely didn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which in the Adventures of Sonic episode they did, but it was just a machine that some other guy was piloting. So two different brands of unsatisfying. But now they get to actually have a fight.
Yeah.
Now, it's a Dave Monarch fight, so it's still mostly cartoony. I do love that all of his appendages are spring-loaded. But, okay, so they fight, and then they say, oh, they're too evenly matched, Batbrain says. So
sure.
Sure, buddy. But then the other badniks propose that they just run really fast into each other. Whoever dies loses.
Wait, what?
Okay.
This is what?
Okay, so first of all, two things. Well, obviously, probably they're just don't think about this too seriously. It's just silly. But also, I think this might be like an upgraded version of Pseudosonic. because they've been on this island for a while. Oh, and more importantly, their eyes are green now, so that must mean they're an upgraded version of Pseudosonic.
Yes, it's a modern Pseudosonic.
My God.
So that's why they're a good match for each other.
Yes, of course.
But yeah, they got to do this. And I love that drawing of stretched out Sonic as they charge.
Yeah. Well, and they run into each other, and then they run into each other so hard that Sonic falls in the water, and then the island collapses.
The island dies.
Yeah, I didn't understand this at first, but luckily you're not supposed to.
Right.
Yeah. It collapses, and then it falls underwater, and then it reforms, because it's actually got a dome, because it was all part of the plan.
Uh-huh.
What? There are schemers here? Scheming badniks?
Yes, apparently, and they're
You
going
learned
to
from Eggman, I
repair
guess.
Pseudosonic and give chase again.
Sure, bud.
And yeah, it's really weird. And then this is the part where it says go read the Sonic archives. So yeah.
Okay, I guess I'll look forward to the conclusion of this.
Yeah. So I would say that issue 170, I would say the main story of that's more the standard that I think I come to expect from Flynn. A lot of these are very much sort of thrashing around trying to fling, new writing at whatever sticks. But I'm still having fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not bored.
I definitely agree with that. It's like, because I have nostalgia for all these issues, because I read them in middle school and high school, and so I want to be like, no, there's nothing stupid about this. It's good, it's fun, and it is fun, but it is also stupid. So
I mean, stupid isn't necessarily bad. We've established this.
No, yeah, I don't dislike it, honestly. Like I've said before, like as long as you're not being super monotonous and meandering, you're going to be entertaining in some form or another. That's fine by me. I am a little annoyed at the way they're treating some of these big shakeups. I maybe don't like some of the things they decide to do, but whatever. You can't grow too attached to anything of these comics, as there are often lots of changes.
I think it's a case of,
kill people.
Big status quo shifts are usually saved for milestone issues, and now they've just been kind of doing them haphazardly, and it feels a little disjointed.
Yeah, and it's crazy rapid fire too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thankfully, next time on Deep Dive Zone, we will have a milestone issue, and well, I'm not going to say anything else. I want you guys to experience it for yourselves.
Alrighty then.
Okay.
So, with all that said, thank you two for joining me, and thank you to all of our lovely viewers for watching. That is where we're going to be done for tonight. So, if you like this video, please feel free to share, like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any questions, comments, criticisms, suggestions, or feedback, you can contact us at any of the links in the link tree in the description. And yeah, we'll see you next time. I hope you have a great rest of your week. We'll see you next week for a very exciting episode. I hope you have a great rest of your night, and take care.